Hello, Doug McCarran here again, independent movie maker in San Diego. I recently did an interview with Eddie Lain over at Vision Pulse in San Diego County. He's got this very cool place for those of you who are interested in making movies, doing shows, television, all sorts of things like that. He has several rooms. Almost everything in the place is a prop. It's very interesting. You'll notice during the interview I keep scanning the camera around because I wanted to show you all what he had there while he's describing it. There was some noise going on with people working in the place, and outdoor noise. And we did a walking tour. So I can't, sometimes the light gets a little off and things like that as we go into rooms, but it looks very good, and I think you'll really find it interesting to see what he has to offer. He has two places, the one that he's in, and then he's hoping to expand into the next place and make it a full, production thing where he can have stages set up and various crews. He's got editing bays over there. So I think you'll find this very interesting if you're into this. If you're in San Diego or you're outside of San Diego County, either way. So I hope you like the interview and the tour. It's a bit over 30 minutes, but I think you'll find it very useful. Again, it's Vision Pulse and Eddie Lain, and I'll put the phone number up on the video so you can contact him if you want to. All right, thank you.
Okay, well, here you are. We're in our lobby right now. One thing about Vision Pulse, everything changes and evolves every single day. We're constantly changing and resetting this place for whatever event that we happen to have. We have events, meetings, seminars, workshops, photo shoots, parties, dances, wild animal shows, whatever you want. So everything that you see is pretty much a prop and can be incorporated into any kind of event that we have, and everything slides, moves, and rolls. We have over here, this is Brian.
Hello, hello.
Front desk and master of all things. So we have a team that helps us put on events, coordinate the front desk, calendaring, setting up, breaking down, and kicking ass. You can sense it that way. Come on over here. I'll take you into one of our conference rooms, which is right down a little preset road. We're setting it up for a student-style classroom. Oh, cool. So we have a table set up, and there'll be an instructor up in the front of the room here with whiteboard and projector and teaching the class, the minions, all sorts of wonderful things. So this room changes around a lot. We call it the Flex Suite because of that. Right now, as I said, student style. We can set this up for a theater style for about 50 people for some kind of presentation. Put the tables end to end. We make it all in conference room, so we can have about 20 people in the conference style. Or a photo shoot. You see, we got the nice red couch over there. Again, another one of our props that moves around for a variety of productions and photos. And definitely, I see you on that couch in the future. One of the things about this space is that we have lots of doors also, so we can change the flow around a lot. A lot of times, most people will come in through this door. We'll set up a little reception type desk there, and then the presentation here. However, we've set it up completely the opposite. People will enter in the middle of the room and have a presentation over there. Or we can even divide this room in two and have a conference room here and a conference room there. So we have a separate door access.
Good idea.
Okay, come on up. And of course, we have our travel and luggage because we also have our travel company in here. Our fun and travel adventure. Woohoo, you should be here. So we're always ready to go. You got it? Let's see. Got it? You should be here. Nice. Okay. Take you down this hallway here to another one of our conference rooms.
Well, I have room house too.
So this is another one of our conference rooms, which at times ends up being a storage room. As we set up other events, things get stored in various places in various corners. So depending upon when you're here, we'll set up a room for you guys so it looks great, but that means that sometimes the other room might be a storage room. So we have a nice candelabra here. We have the wheelchair, which is actually part of a film production. So when you sit on that and you've got the camera rolling, it makes a very stable surface that someone can push you around, kind of like they call it a dolly. This table goes with a couple other chairs I'll show you in a moment, but this was my magic Mad Hatter's table from a play that we did here about the backstory of how the Mad Hatter went mad.
Nice.
And so we had a tea party there. And this glass table has some nice blue chairs down the hallway that you'll see in a second. Those are good chairs. And then we have our kitchen over here. And with this, we've got a stovetop, we've got a sink, we've got a microwave, we've got an oven, we've got a couple of refrigerators, we've got some mobile refrigerators, actually mobile at the moment, but depending upon the event setup that you need, we can move in the different furniture or the refrigerators on an as-needed basis. This space can become useful for the caterer that's catering your events as well.
And when it gets really bad, you break out the liquor.
We drink a lot of that, yeah. And sangria and sweet and sour mix, that's standard stuff.
And a lot of props.
Yeah. Okay. Come over this way. Of course, we have the ladies' room and the men's room back over there. We're now entering into our auditorium, which is used more for events and photo shoots and plays and everything else than any other room. The bar that's here is actually used to be my reception counter for my previous office space. And so I took it off the wall over there. I built it so I knew how it was attached. Brought it over here, attached wheels to it, and now it's our mobile bar. So this thing can be where it sits, or we can put it in the lobby, or we can put it in front of the kitchen, or we can put it outside and set up a party however we need to. We have a lot of tables that are low, medium, and high in height, and they can all be changed out to all be high, or they can all be changed out to be medium height. They're all very, very low. Again, very versatile. This space we can seat in a theater style about 160 people with the stage in place, so that if you want to do a presentation for the dream trips of your life, then we can have 160 people. If we want to set it up kind of cabaret style for a comedy show or a live band, then we bring up bistro tables and the high bars in the back. We can seat about 80 people that way. And the stage is also versatile. It in itself can move around. The two little risers that are on either side of it at the moment, I have 8 pieces of that, and it can be a riser that's about 2 feet high, and it can configure a stage of 16 by 8 or a runway that's 4 foot by 32. So if you want to build something very versatile, we can. We have outside here, actually inside, we have a big roll-up door. We roll up that door, we expand the party out to the outside. And we convert this parking area into a patio by putting up a fence line or ground or whatnot.
Oh, wow.
And this is also where the beast lives.
You still have your phone on you?
I turned it on.
Can you get my picture of it?
We'll definitely have to do that. And of course, you see that you should be here on the side. So this is our 1969 military transport vehicle that was designed for the Vietnam War. However, it's now been repurposed as a zombie crusher.
Put on fresh tires on it.
Yep, brand new tires on it. Thank you to our Marines. So this thing, designed for the Vietnam War, later repurposed in 1971 to be a missile launcher. It used to have the Pershing nuclear missiles on the back of it. It would rise up and launch off the bed of this truck. But now it just catches on us. And so it's been part of some photo shoots and some appearances at different movie premieres. We did Comic-Con and toured the town downtown. Had a bunch of zombies up on the inside. Oh, it was a good time. Okay.
That'd be fun. We might have to make me into a zombie.
Let's. I've got some great makeup artists that can do that. Chop off a limb of yours, put blood splatter all over you. Come on back in. these are my castle doors. I built these myself. And these have been the center of many photo shoots, and set you up a little bit more dungeon-esque or Gothic style, and looks really good with that as a backdrop. But I built that. I had a client that it was a contract that they needed to use this space, but they needed to have the doorway closed. Because when I first moved in here, it was just a big opening. Curtain wasn't going to do it for them, so they wanted something more permanent. So I had a week to build this thing. And for me to do something really fine furniture-ish or whatnot, it wasn't going to be enough time. So I just threw together a bunch of 2x4s and whacked it with a bunch of chains and locks and screws and knives and scratched at it and stained it and invited my friends over to do the same thing. So we all had a big your frustrations out party and beat on it to make all these dents in there. And then these are just rebar stakes. You get over at Home Depot for a couple of bucks. Kind of hold it all together. This I had welded on top of that little spirally thing and made this little bracket and took some wheels off the shopping cart and boom, we got a castle door. Thanks. Okay, come on, we're going to go see the rest of the space here. Thanks. Here's our little piano, which has quite a history to it. This is a English piano from 1898. And back in 1898, they had no electricity. So in 1898, if you see there's little circles still here, that's where the candelabras used to be mounted. And so it used to have brass candelabras over here so that you had some light so you could see what you're playing. But soon after 1898 was World War I, and the British were in that war. So almost all British pianos of that era melted down all their brass candelabras for bullets for the war. And they didn't need candelabras anymore because they had electricity. So that has a little bit of history to it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I hope I look that good when I'm that old.
Yeah.
So we have a little conference room in here. This room can be reconfigured to hold about 35 for a meeting style, or we can set up for about a dozen people in a conference style. Again, everything moves, slides, and rolls around. So we move the tables out as needed, or if we need to, we take the top off of that table over there. That round one is actually a poker table. And if you flip the lid upside down on top of the poker table, it's a bumper pool table.
Nice.
So first you have a board meeting, and when they're done being bored, you have fun.
So where do we apply?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could probably very quickly be convinced to move out here.
Well, come on.
See all the booze and
let's
poker.
Yeah.
We'll throw a bunch of parties.
It is Friday, right?
But you do have books here. I'm not too good at reading.
Well, that's usually movie prop stuff.
Do you have picture books? That's nice.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do. Actually, there's some computer books there that I love. It's a series called Visioning.
Yeah.
And it's just like pictures of the computer screen with arrows that say, click this to do that.
That's funny.
Just show me
Awesome.
pictures of her.
This room is an editing bay production room. So we have a couple of systems here. We have a Final Cut and Premiere on this one, and we have Avid on this one. It's kind of in transition because we're going to be moving next door. And then we have the old school television, because you never know when you. Oh, it's good to have that. Actually, I want even an older one, and I will acquire an older one as we move to the next door space, as you'll see in a moment. I'd like to have some old 50s and 60s televisions because they make great props. Speaking of props,
Yeah,
I see
I
your
got
cots
the
over
military stretchers, actually.
there. Oh, stretchers.
Yeah, so these are going to be attached to the side of the beast because when you've been attacked by a zombie, you need to be stretchered out.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is our secondary lobby right here. And we've had meetings and discussions in this space as well. We set it up for theater style as well, and we've even done movie productions and films and like interviews.
These are the chairs. that go
Yes,
on the table.
these are the blue chairs. So when these blue chairs and that table are all together, it totally looks like something out of Matt Adder's Alice in Wonderland.
I'm seeing another red couch and
Yeah.
another beautiful prop for a shoot. I like the orange, the circle.
You got a good eye.
Circle couch.
And right here, we have Express Travel Services. We have Renu and Garrett.
Hi.
Hey guys.
This is Belle and Spencer. And did you meet Doug?
I think, yeah. We did meet
There's Doug.
briefly.
And Doug turns around and looks at your sign there and can see that you do visa, passport, and travel planning out of this office. So especially for filmmakers, as we start to cater more to them, and we need to go to China for a shoot, or Brazil,
Yeah.
or something like that, she
Then you call
can,
me.
we call her, and she can ready everybody's passports and visas in expeditious time. I don't have to wait for the government's usual 3-year turnaround or something. Yeah. So this is Express Travel Service. Welcome. So you're standing in the second lobby. In this lobby, we'll have where you're standing a reception desk, a couple of glass doors on either side to section this off from there. And nice couches, probably where the red couch will be stored most of the time. We'll blow out this wall, and it'll flow over and secure. Because in most movie productions, you're going to need a place for hair and makeup. So what we do over here, instead of just hair and makeup, this is going to be a day spa.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be the reception area for the day spa, and then you come into here, we'll have the hair and makeup stations over here, we'll have some massage rooms or for an esthetician, but there'll also be dressing rooms on an as-needed basis for production. So I'll be able to switch that out. We'll have a couple of the shampoo bowls, we'll have a hair drying station, and then I'm going to build a shower into there, like a steam shower, so that after you are all dressed up in your zombie outfit and you've got blood all over you at the end of the day, you don't have to drive home that way. You can just shower off. Yeah. So this will be our day spa. Now, the theme of this, I'm leaning towards something more tropical, to be kind of like you're on a vacation. So when you're in here, the plan will be, feel like you're in a t-shirt.
I can smell it.
You smell it already?
Lots of pineapple and coconut.
Exactly.
mango.
So we're going to have some nice fish tanks and architecture that's kind of wavy, kind of like the waves of the beach, and whites and blues, like the ocean and the sand. And the roof, the ceiling will be raised, but we'll have palapas up there, like little grass huts. Interact lighting.
Awesome.
So that's the plan. Then we'll go into this space. And again, we're going to raise the ceiling in here, so it's much higher up. We'll have a lighting grid up there, so that we can hang lights for home production. And this big open area is going to be basically a sound stage 1 with what we call wild walls. And wild walls are portable walls that you can connect together to make hallways or little rooms or anything that you need, and repaint them or put up a door or hang a painting on or whatnot. So you're basically building a set on an as-needed basis. And they'll be stored in this area as instead of laying flat someplace, we'll just store them in like little cubicle walls. So that if people need a little workstation, you've got a workstation. Maybe the walls won't match because that wall was used for a living room once and that wall was used for a jail. And then we have these individual office suites on the side, and we're going to do what's called the flyway walls, so that these doors and walls will actually be able to be pulled back, and then you can film into the office, or they closed, so that you can have more of a private office space. But we're going to make these spaces very thematic offices. So you might be sitting in that one, and it'd be like sitting in a jail cell, because then we'll be able to use it as a jail, because you can't film in a jail. You can't just go down to the sheriff's office and say, we want to film all your inmates. So we have to create that. So we'll have some of these static sets here, so that if anybody needs to film a jail or a hospital room or a courtroom or something like that, something that's not easy to access, we'll have them here ready to go. But they'll also act as an office space, so that if you need to do a casting call or have a meeting or go to work one day and get away from the barking dogs and the screaming kids, sit in jail.
Yeah.
And then this room over here, this is a fairly large kind of a conference room / brainstorming suite. But it connects very closely to our front lobby over at the other Bishop Halls. We'll just make a little pathway through the bushes, take out a couple of bushes, put down some flagstone. So have like a little patio out there. And then that way we can use that front desk to send people into here if we just need an extra conference room and we don't need to open up this entire space. So we'll just treat this as a separate room. But it can also be whatever you need it for. Conference room, another prop room, or another jail. We have a lot of jails. You're going to lock up all the whole
Yeah. This is your point.
Now this room, this actually will be jail. These will be sound-treated or sound-proofed room and dark. They'll be for editing bays. So we'll have about 3 stations in here with Avid and Final Cut Pro and Premiere. So as filmmakers are working on projects here, their editors can already get a jump on the project by being in here and editing. And in this wall, we put in a big window here, and that'll look into the other space so that as you're sitting here editing, you'll be able to see what's going on over there because we're going to do next door. So again, we'll acoustically treat this, have some nice floor covering in there, and some chairs like you sit into a movie theater, little risers, and a bar on the wall, a big screen, and a nice sound system. And then the window over here, so that if you want to have someone controlling it for you, as opposed to you having to hit the buttons over here, you've got somebody that's actually on the other side, changing the movies and doing whatever you need to cater to your investors that are in the city. Also, you can have in that room your ADR voiceover, so that as someone's watching the movie here, someone can do dialogue voiceover. And bring it right into the movie. These risers will also be on wheels and be able to slide them out so that we can then convert this into a couch room, kind of like a den, and this will be a green room.
How long has all of this been in the works?
My head has been thinking about it now since December, which makes that now 9 months. Because that's
You have something for everyone that we've been into so far. So.
Yes, I have been thinking this through for a while, and we had some neighbors in here that I got news that they were going to be moving out in December, and I was very happy about it. So I started thinking, how can I take the space next door? What can I do with it? What do we need here in this town? And with filmmaking, so that's when I started designing it. Came over here and looked at the space as it is, trying to conserve as much as I could with the walls where they are to kind of cut back on some of the production costs. And so I keep tweaking it. Every time I give someone a tour, I come up with a new little idea, and then I modify my little floor plan. Kind of like on version 10 or something. So this little closet room, this door is actually going to come back to about here. There'll still be a closet. We'll cut this open at an angle right here. We'll have a double door right there. And this is that other conference room on the other side. So that will become a break room. And that's how you get from the other Vision Pulse meeting center to the studios. Come on down. But wait, there's more. So we have restrooms. It's not very exciting looking at the moment. We're going to gloss it up a bit, make it a little bit more exciting. One of the things that I'm happy about is that we've got more toilets. Next door, it's a one-person restroom. With that, having more toilets and having this big space, at first I thought that was going to be kind of a bad use of space. I wanted to recover some of the space and do something else with it. But then I started thinking, if we want to use this for a film and we want to shoot a restroom scene for whatever reason, we need this space. So, yeah, I'm going to go with it. So we'll change a little bit to make it look a little bit more exciting. But this will be another set. And of course, I don't know how long it gets to go in the men's room, but come on. So in here, we've got 2 stalls and a urinal, and we're going to change out all the plumbing so it's not the high, noisy, flushy kind of sounds. There'll be more of the waterless type systems so that the sound doesn't carry over into the productions. That's the flushing toilet in the background.
more eco-friendly products.
Yeah, that too. And then where you're standing, we're going to put another double doorway just like this one here, so it'll be able to isolate that space off from this space over here. And then you come on into the big dark room. And this room, except for those are the spare tires for the beasts. I just changed out the tires, so those are for sale. So no one might use them on that so this room is going to be a big sound stage. We're going to build that wall out a couple of feet this way so that it encapsulates that support pillar and pack it with soundproofing, and then the ceiling all soundproof. And that will be an infinity wall, where it's kind of scoops up at the bottom, a cove wall or a cyclorama wall. It'll have coving in the corner and coving in the corner, so that visually you don't see where the wall is. It just kind of goes to infinity. And you've probably seen, like a lot of Apple has really made these famous with their commercials. Everything's white, and the person's just kind of standing in white. There's a lot of photography and film done that way. And then a lot of times they do a green screen in the background, and then they fill in whatever. So you're standing here talking, but in the background we have the Taj Mahal, or we have a jungle, or whatever, and that's put in post-production. So by having this infinity wall, it's easy to remove in the background. You can replace it with anything and be anywhere you want. It can be in the house. Sometimes how I feel. And then over the top, this room here will be connected to the day spa with a doorway in the back wall. And this room is going to be a giant walk-in closet. So this is going to be for work. So all that stuff that's in my office plus more will come in here. And with the doorway to the day spa, you can have your hair and makeup done, come in, get your wardrobe selected, and do that here in the restaurant. And then you can stand in the window and go, I'm ready! And then this is going to have another doorway that goes that away. And this room, that doorway from the other room will come out right here. And we're going to have a little wall back here, so we're going to have a little hallway and another door back here. So that this, you can go from room to room back here without having to come around the front through the production. And where you're standing is going to be a production suite. So this door will be gone. This will be a giant glass wall, and you'll be able to see what's going on out there and be able to control all the editing and the sound and everything from in here. And this will all be acoustic. So then that doorway will go into this room, and this is where all the gear is stored. So we'll have lights and cameras and gizmos and goodies and props and other things that I don't need to have in my office.
Well, we definitely can't wait to come down and see the finished product.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's this space here, and then upstairs we're going to build a little production loft up there, so you can have another vantage point of being able to view the film or being able to shoot from there, as well as storage. So deeper back will be storage, and then actually behind this wall and over the bathrooms will be storage, and we'll just be storing more props. And then we have the big roll-up door, which we'll cover that over with a soundproofed box that can be rolled away. But this roll-up door allows us to roll things into here. Like if we want to do a photo shoot with the beast, just roll it right in.
Awesome.
And that concludes the tour.